Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here in Foley Square. We're covering the Southern District of New York Courthouse and state courthouses after the 4th of July weekend. A trial, however, is starting today, Wednesday, July 5th. Well, the trial is of Zilberberg. It's a bank fraud case that we've been covering pretty closely. Ben Branfman is representing the defendant, and it always seemed that it would settle, but it hasn't, so we'll be covering it. Next Monday, there's a murder trial of Israel Garcia. We've written a story about it over the 4th of July weekend because, once again, hip-hop and its lyrics are at issue. Now, today at 11 a.m., there's a status conference in a terrorism case that we began covering when it first came in, alleged terrorism. Cholo Abdullah, charged with conspiring to plan to fly an airliner 9/11 style into the United States from Kenya. So we'll be covering that at 11. But and in terms of delay, Stephen Buyer, former Indiana congressman, was convicted of a trial that we covered. Now his sentencing, the U.S. is asking to delay it because they're still trying to work out restitution and forfeiture. T-Mobile, it turns out, wants money for its own investigation of its own victimhood. I don't know, whatever. In other delay, this is one that it probably wouldn't get written about just because it's sort of gone underground. Gumuccio of Yoga for the People. He's gotten 10 continuances in a row. There was a big fanfare when he was arrested and indicted, but since then, actually he wasn't indicted, just a complaint. They just keep kicking it down the road. I report these things to make sure they don't just disappear, having been that it was announced loudly. Maybe they're trying to work out a plea deal, but it's been a while. It's been a while. Every month, like clockwork, they ask for delay. Now, the United Nations, they met on Monday. They took yesterday off in deference to the U.S. Although they don't defer to the U.S. Constitution, they're very happy to throw the press out with no recourse. But Guterres Patten, you've heard of her before. She's sexual violence in conflict. Well, it turns out she's also writing ahead to UN resident coordinators to get special VIP treatment, even on her vacations, and bringing her son along, nepotism style. A fish rots from the head. Guterres does the same. The UN is just a cesspool of corruption, and we've applied to re-enter to report on these and many aspects of international affairs. Watch this space.